Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
The day I met Bullhorn Betty and Jonathan Lee Ridges, they were protesting in front of the Laundrie's home. I began to document them, and little did I know, the three of us would spend the next few months traveling together. Nothing scares us, even if it means crossing a freezing cold river and getting wet. We put our lives in danger because we want to find answers. It gives us purpose, even if it means going undercover to get those answers, or visiting the scene of a crime and paying our respects. Searching for the truth isn't easy. It gets you out of your comfort zone and makes you see things in a different perspective. And it's this perspective that we want the world to see. At the end of the day, we fight for justice. We fight for those who don't have a voice. We fight for those who were silenced. Our next case, we search for Paula Miranda. She was last seen swimming in this river. Here's our Paula's family. Found 2 footprints they believe belonged to her. She left her phone and keys in her car. Her sister tells us that's extremely unusual for her to do that. Stay tuned as we venture deep into Wekiwa Springs State Park to help find her.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good morning, YouTube. Happy Monday, Manic Monday. It's almost noon. Sorry for coming to you guys so late. Been working a lot behind the scenes on the Kiely Rodni case. If many of you, I see a lot of new faces in here. I'm Andra, aka Bullhorn Betty. I partner with a lot of different creators, and we go around the country to find answers on these cases. This is a case that I'm actually covering from the home office, right? Ground zero for Bullhorn Betty. And, hopefully we start getting some answers. I just want to make note that law enforcement is very, very tight-lipped right now. And that is a huge indicator for me personally as to where this particular case is going. Typically whenever you have a child pulled out of a lake, and they're, this was a accident, something that just went horribly wrong, they would have already come out. I mean, they did come out when she came up and basically gave us the word salad, we are going to conduct the investigation thoroughly, blah, 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 to find out what truly happened, blah, 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 blah. And, I just have, it's just an issue for me because nobody has come out since the release of Adventures with Purpose, which put in a lot of minds. For those that were following me at the beginning of this case, I was like many others. This is just an accident, a teenage child that had too much to drink. I made the deadly decision to get behind the wheel of a car and, lost her life. That's what I originally thought. When they found her in the lake, I'm like, well, here we go. This is what happens. This is why we don't drink and drive, blah, 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 blah. Then Adventures with Purpose came into our chat and let us know that they were going to be doing a video drop on their findings that, this was, if we wanted to become a member, their process is all their videos go to members only first, and then it's released to the general public at a stated time or date. And then that's released out to the, to everybody else. I chose to pay the membership. I chose to watch it. And I'm telling you, I was completely, utterly out of breath. I was shaking. I was frustrated. There was just a lot going on for me personally with this whole thing because of the stance that I put in thinking that this was an accident. What we found, hold on just a second. Give me just a second. Sorry about that. Maybe I should take my ringer off. There we go. So anyways, it was very disheartening for me to find out that she was in the back of the vehicle. And as we're watching it, Olivia comes over here. She comes over here and we're looking at the video. We pause it and we're like, okay. Which reminds me, Olivia, if you're in the back, if you're in the chat now, go ahead and pull yourself on up here. Guys, this link is for Olivia, Chronicles of Olivia. If somebody wants to drop her link in here, please do so. Her YouTube link in here. She's been doing amazing work. We've been collaborating. We've been doing a lot together. Just really going through this and processing it. Thank you, Chronicles. I see you. Thank you so much. And so, as we dig through here, we have people that are coming to us with information because, we are putting the information out there. We're putting videos out there. It is causing a little bit of a buzz. People, especially, that's how we ran into debunking the one photo that we thought was Prosser. Now, I do want to, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here real quick because I thought this was a great photo and I was going to do it later, but since you're already up here. So this photo here, this first one with the girls in the car, that is debunked. Okay. People out at the party, they've been having problems clarifying, which photos are from the party and not. The one photo that we saw that everybody's looking at that light, remember they started dissecting that little glow and thought maybe that was when she went into the water. I don't know whether that is or not, but a lot of people said that doesn't look like a party of 400 people. Well, would you know, this one over here in the blue is actually a photo from this party. And that looks like a photo of a lot of kids and a lot of people at a party. This has been confirmed. This bluish photo has been confirmed to be from this party. And this definitely makes a little more sense, but that's not what we're calling here today. What do you have going on? You've been working behind the scenes. You've been people have been reaching out to you. They've been reaching out to everybody. Some people are just trying to get a message out there. What say you?
Well, in terms of the photo, I posted my documentary on YouTube, and I used that black and white photo, and I had no idea that it wasn't from the party. It was circulating amongst the Facebook groups. I just assumed it was, and I used it. And then the girls, 3 of them from the photo, reached out to me. One didn't want to really speak, but 2 did, and they were just concerned that misinformation was being spread, and which I completely understand why they were upset. So they wanted to clear things up, and I made that one video where they had the audio message saying, it was not from the party at all.
Yeah, and some people from some of the comments, they were saying that other people have already debunked this, but I went through social media and outside of speculative, maybe 1 or 2 smaller people saying, I don't know if this is from that party. I didn't really see anybody that came out with actually the people in the photo debunking that photo in public and above board. They were just alleging.
Yeah, they were just alleging and maybe using Photoshop or to see if things. No, but this is the actual girls, and I personally believe they were not lying. I don't think they were random teenagers that were like, "Hey, I'm the girls in the photo, just want to do this." No,
there's a lot of went on behind the scenes to confirm.
Yeah,
identity. I mean, we have the original photo. I mean, we have these people that were gracious enough to trust you to give access to some information to corroborate their story. This is not something where you just heard about it and ran with it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, they personally reached out to me on my Instagram, and they are private on Instagram. They accepted me into their Instagram account, and I looked through their photos and compared, and I was like, this is them. It has to be. There's no way this is just fake.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you've been doing this. There's 1,200 people in this chat, and I doubt that the 1,200 people, they may know you, they may not know you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Olivia. I mean, we've been kind of gal palling for a little minute, but people don't know who you are or what you do. I know you won't say it, but I'm going to say it for you. She's very talented in what she does. She's very talented, and I'm so proud of her.
You're too sweet. But, well, I guess I could say I make videos, I edit them, I make documentaries, but more so boots on the ground. I met Bullhorn in front of Brian Laundrie's house on September 17th, 2021. From then on, we've been best friends. But I just like to present things in a form where it's like a story, because it's just my style is very unique. My brain is I'm a very visual person, so I put everything visually out for people to kind of understand what is going on. So I'm working on episode 2 of the Kiely documentary today, and then I have a good friend named Kelly. She's a medium, And literally 24 hours before Kiely was found, she contacted me. She sent me an audio of her vision, and it's pretty cool. The things that she said are, since the case has unfolded and we found out that Kiely was found in the hatch, things that Kelly said in her vision are really starting to make sense. So I'm actually posting that today. It's very fascinating. If you guys are into mediums and the spiritual kind of side of things, you could check that out. That'll be on my channel.
Yeah.
But
and if you guys have not subbed up to Chronicles of Olivia, I mean, she really is. She makes Bullhorn Betty look good. If it wasn't for Chronicles of Olivia, I don't know if Bullhorn Betty would be here right now. Like, I owe you everything, right? I love it. It was one of those things where I got her attention and she was curious and she had to follow me around.
yeah, I saw you on my homepage on TikTok and I was like, I need to be friends with that lady.
Worst decision she ever made, I have to say.
Changed forever.
Because now I dragged her halfway across the country.
Yep.
You know, and the funniest thing that I want, before we go over to the people, I mean, we got a lot of people up in here, but the one thing that I really want from Olivia, many people don't know, it's kind of crazy because when we're out in the field, we do a lot of first takes. We don't really, you know, what you kind of see is what you get there, unless I mean, I remember one time we were in front of, for the Summer Wells case, in front of the dispatch center, and it's like our cameras were all messed up, and I had to do that. I had to do my intro going in there like 3 times, but outside of that, that's odd. Most people don't realize what they see on your videos is not, you know, is not dramatic. I mean, you record us out there in the field and then put that in a video. It's not so sensationalized or dramatized.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of maybe some of the music you might put behind there.
Yeah, no, it's all real. Like, just, it is what it is. Because as a like, I make documentaries, I don't like to do like dramatic fake stuff. I just say it how it is. Like, these are the facts. You can, you know, this is it.
Yeah. But it was kind of crazy because when we all found each other, it was, we all were very laser focused on helping people. It was
exactly.
Just, I don't know. It was almost like, it was almost divine.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, because of everything. So
yeah.
Anyways, you know, we've covered several cases, and how many times have we heard of a child being in the hatch of her own car?
I mean, that is
as an accident, like
unheard of, extremely, extremely rare.
Extremely. Yeah. Let's put a couple more extremely's in front of that.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and then, you know, when we were all kind of contemplating this and we're thinking of the seats, you know, we're all going out, like we went out to my car, right? Remember, we walked around there and we marked which windows were down, which windows were broke, what the you know, and that's when when we looked at that video, this was literally when the video was released. Yes. And we heard him say, I found him, we went out there and we're like, oh my God, it's this window. This is the window he's at. Oh, that pins and needles. How, like, what was that revelation when we went out there and realized where she was located for you?
That changed the game for me because I'm a very open-minded person. And I thought, you know, maybe this was an accident. Like, really, it could have been an accident, or maybe foul play, but I was maybe leaning more towards accident. And then right when we found out it was the hatch, I was like, yeah, no, this is very, very suspicious because there is a possibility maybe I hate saying the details of things like this, but some people theorize she could have floated to the back. But then after doing more research on that, it seems more unlikely. So it's just nefarious.
Yeah.
Now I believe.
Because when we were actually going through that process, it was kind of crazy. But even though we knew the vehicle was upside down, when we were talking about it, we removed that when we were talking about how she would get through the seats and stuff like that. We weren't taking into consideration that this car was upside down, even though we knew it was upside down. When we were talking about it, we were talking as if this car was sitting up on its all four wheels and, you know, maybe pressure of the water, but that wasn't the case. I mean, this vehicle was on its on its roof.
Mm-hmm.
Only passage she would have, and it's a completely obstructed path.
And it's dark too. It's dark and cold, and that adds a whole nother layer, the whole upside down part. So it makes it even more difficult to get to the hatch when it's dark, cold, upside down, can't see. I think she was already there.
Yeah, and many people don't know, but there was, but maybe people do because they were highly upset with Justice for All. We as creators sometimes just, we're curious, and I think sometimes we do research on the fly, and I don't know how it came about, but apparently there was a spot where they were able to find that the blur did not blur.
Oh, I saw that on the Facebook group. Someone said that they took the blurred part and they edited it so that they could see it, but they didn't release it. But it was released?
No, this one I don't think was edited or enhanced anywhere. It was just, finding that spot in the video, that split second where it wasn't blurred. And you could see a silhouette. You could clearly see the eyes, the nose. She was, believe it or not, being under that water preserved her. She was, I don't know how the elements would be as soon as she came out of that water, but she was, from what I could see, was recognizable. And what was hard for me is that seeing the stuff that I've seen, the crime scene photos I've seen, I don't know, but I have seen people drown where their eyes were kind of bulged. That wasn't the case. I don't want to go into too graphics, but it looked almost as if she was peacefully sleeping, in my opinion. And the reason why I say that is because it is possible that she, in my opinion, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a forensic pathologist. I don't, I just for all those people out there, but it almost appeared to me that she was either one, already met her demise, or two, she was sleeping back there and slept right through the drowning. Those are the only two things at this point I can come up with. I've watched videos where the water's rushing into the car. I actually have some. I'm going to be doing this after we're wrapped up here for this early portion of the segment. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be showing this so people can get an idea of the velocity of the water coming into the car. And the fact that, they're saying they feel like this water threw her to the back. She was a 5'9" girl that was 110 pounds. However, the water thrust into the car was not enough to send somebody flying back into the back of their car.
Yeah,
it pushes against you. Yes, you have to fight with a current, but not so much so that you're tossed from one side of the car to the entire back side of the car, almost 10 feet away, 8 to 10 feet away. I don't know what the length of her car is. Maybe that's what I need to go out there and measure my car, because I know it's about the same size as the vehicle I have.
Oh, I have that video of you talking about, I never showed that to you, where you showed like the windows and everything.
Yeah.
I'll have to send that to you later.
Yeah. Well, don't send it, make a video out of it.
Yeah.
And then I'll bring it up here and we'll discuss it on one of my live shows.
Yeah.
So, now somebody else had reached out to you. You have an anonymous or confidential source that you also have vetted. And you had some, let me just give some background information. Many of you guys know that Ryan Upchurch has come out with some stuff that he's researched and found. And he's made some noteworthy statements in the media that many of us, on social media, that many of us do not agree with. We agree with some of the stuff, but not all of the stuff. And it's related to whether or not, Kiely exists. And so when I was talking to him, now, mind you, he's a nice guy. He's doing his own research, and his research is taking him where his research, just like when we do our research kind of just takes us where it goes. Mm-hmm. We follow what we know and follow that through. Well, he's, people aren't agreeing with the whole,
yeah, I know
the information together. So he has a different, and I'm trying to say this kindly because I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to offend the pro, Upchurch fans, and I don't want to offend the non-pro Upchurch fans here. So I like the guy. So I have to be honest. I like him a lot. He's down to earth. Had him on here for. I like that. So yeah, he seems very nice. So, but one of his requests through that interview was he just can't find a lot of photos of her life.
Of her childhood.
Into social media. Now, it's my understanding, many people put it in here, and I've heard about it before, but I have not found anybody that can corroborate it. Maybe you have. Was she homeschooled?
I am not entirely sure about that, but I feel like I heard through the grapevine, but I don't know.
Yeah. Myself as well. I heard through the grapevine that she may have been homeschooled. And parents that are homeschooled have a lot more control over what their children do, say, and subscribe to. So this could very well be a hover parent type of situation. Not that that's a bad thing at all, but it could be something where, maybe her mom wouldn't allow her to have social media until she was a certain age. There are parents that are taking the social media stuff very seriously and realizing it does affect their children, and are being responsible parents by saying, this is not appropriate for you at this age, but you can do. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that homeschool vibe gives me, that's what's making me say that. Maybe that's something. What are your thoughts?
I saw some people mentioned private school, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, Lulu Love is saying she was homeschooled. So yeah, so if she was homeschooled, this is all I'm saying. I haven't corroborated it. Some people have brought it up to me. I don't know one way or another whether she has been or not. But if she has been, that could explain why, possibly she's, she doesn't really have a whole lot of social media presence. Maybe her parents just, protected her.
Also her age, but then again, because I'm 24 now, so when I was 16, I didn't get on Instagram until I was...
Sorry, Bambi's saying she graduated early from a charter school, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting mixed information. But go ahead. Sorry for interrupting.
But in this new generation, kids are having Instagram way earlier. But then again, that's still... Well, I know like 10-year-olds that have Instagram. So that could be true. Maybe, I don't know, maybe she didn't have, well, most people don't have a big presence at that age. They're still young teenagers. So.
Yeah. But by 16, you would think that they would have more of a, but what I was thinking is, maybe that the parents or law enforcement locked this down or locked her Facebook down early on because they had to monitor it. She was a missing person. But anyways, long story short, one of the things that Ryan had indicated is that he just can't find, photos of her childhood, of anything like that. And through a confidential source, we have uncovered additional photos that many may not have seen.
Yeah. So we, through our confidential source, we're able to find photos that we will be sharing with you guys of her when she was younger.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and pull those up. Where are they?
There's also Bullhorn other photos too that I have, which I might just have to go live after you, because I have a ton of ones with her sister too.
Okay.
There's a lot of conspiracy that she doesn't have a sister or has a brother, but there is a photo with her and her little sister.
Yeah. Let's, what time is it now? We've been on for about a half hour. So I would say probably about 1:15. I'll probably be wrapped up here. If you want to go live, maybe I'll come over and hang out with you.
Yeah. So maybe after I'll go live online.
All right, love. So I'm going to go ahead and bring these up. And these are, again, new, oops, I just hit the wrong button. New photos that we have not seen out. This is just to help, those that are having issues that, Kiely was not real, or, we're watching her life. All of us are, we're going back in her life. We're watching her grow up before our eyes, because none of us really knew her before this case. And this case is ultra super sad. You had an amazing, talented young lady that was 16 years old, that graduated early, that was going to go to medical school, that was talented in multiple instruments. Sang. These are things that make parents very, very proud. Not only that, but many young people idolize, young children that really kind of have it focused. When I was her age, I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. I definitely did not, try to get, graduate school early to go to medical school. I mean, I just, that wasn't my journey. That's just our journey, and it was snuffed away from her. And so it really upsets me to hear that she's not real, because, it's breaking my heart to know that something tragic happened to this beautiful, talented young lady that was only 16 years old and literally had her entire world left ahead of her. And she's no longer here because of some stupid BS. And I want to know what that stupid BS is and who it was with.
Exactly.
So without further ado, we're going to go through these. I'm going to read the comments on it. Here's one with Kiely, and it says, in life, you don't need a lot of friends. You just need the right ones. To a beautiful soul, a fantastic person, and a fucking amazing friend. Kiely, you made me a person I enjoyed being. I'll never forget the memories we made and the time we spent together. I miss you so much. Or miss you so much it hurts. Fly high, angel. Let's see if I can get over here and do the other one. Why is it not going? Hold on. Sorry. My stuff won't let me go. There should be another way for me to do these. Put these up. And then here's another one.
That's fine. Click on the screen. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I can do this. There it is. Okay, there it is. So, Kate, let's see. So this is some from the same exact that tag that I read is the same one for all these photos. It appears. So, for those that don't believe, that was wrote by Kate, her friend Kate. There's her and her friend Kate when they were kids. So we have a lifetime of photos here. Just because they're not readily available to the public at this point in time doesn't mean that she did not exist in this world. It doesn't mean that somebody did not sink her in the bottom of Prosser Reservoir. She was real. She was alive. She was happy. She was talented. And she no longer is here with us today. And it's truly sad. So
very tragic.
Yeah. And we want to find out who did this to her.
I really truly believe that at least more than one individual knows what happened to her.
Yeah. And here's a comment from Jagger on this one. We will never forget her. She will live with us for the rest of our lives. And one day we will get to see her again and just go back to the good old days of worrying about nothing but us having fun. Everyone needs to celebrate this wonderful human being. It just gives me goosebumps. It's just, there's Mags.
Yeah.
And there's Kiely wearing her Odd Future hoodie. So it sounds like this might have been one of her favorite hoodies.
Yeah. Looks like they're on maybe a Jeep or a boat.
A boat. It looks like they're on the water because you can kind of see the water under her arm right here, and then the mountains behind her. And this looks like the awning piece where you can attach the awning to a boat on a boat. But they were happy.
Exactly.
So how does this? You're a millennial. You're a little older than Kiely, which takes when you hang out with us old geezers. But you're hanging out, this, how does this make you feel? She's 16 years old. You're a millennial. You've had to live life. You've went to parties. Just, you're a little more close to that age group than I am. Just tell us how this makes you feel.
It's kind of made me walk down memory lane a little bit because, like I've had, I was a teenager and I did things when I was 16, like parties, sneaking out or whatever. And it's just really sad because I feel like this could have all been avoided. And it, like, she could have been me, or like she could have been you when you were younger. It's just really depressing. just super, super depressing. That's really, and I babysit a lot of like younger kids and like they're almost about to be teenagers, and just to think that she could have been someone that like I knew or like a friend or someone, like it's just really sad that she had to go out like that and so young and so soon. She had her whole life ahead of her. And really, when you're 16, you're still a baby. I mean, I'm 24 and my mom still calls me a baby. But
I'm 43 and my mom calls me her baby too.
Yeah.
So we're always going to be our parents' babies, no matter how old we get.
Yeah, and just that's the age where she was starting to, experiment, 15, 16, freshman year high school. That's really the beginning of, like adolescence, like the teenage years. It's fun, exciting, but can be dangerous. And that was really the beginning, and it just ended really bad. But yeah, it's just sad.
Yeah, well, here's what, and I know that you've been really, really working your tail off behind the scenes. I mean, there's some days that I looked at my phone and we talked to each other like 12 times one day.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. So I don't know how you have time to do all the work that you have been doing, but with this Kiely Rodni case, there's a few things that maybe with all your other research you're doing, because you're not really watching a whole lot of YouTube. You're not watching other creators or stuff like that. You're really kind of keeping an unbiased eye on this so you can be, objective. And with Dolly had said some things to me, and I want to get your thought on it. Now that you've kind of been researching all this, he said out the gate that he thought that this was an entanglement. This was probably something with an entanglement, girls fighting over a guy type of, or something else type of entanglement related to that. And he also said immediately, whenever they were talking about the timeline, when this originally happened, and they talked about the text to Kylie's mom at around 11:30 saying she was running late, he doesn't believe that Kiely sent that text to her mom. He believes that somebody, whoever might be responsible, I don't know if his position changed or not. I haven't talked to him about it, but this was what he had said early on in this case. What do you think about the text messages?
I also thought that was a bit strange because, it wasn't until I came across a post on Facebook. I put that in my first episode of my documentary about Kiely, where this girl told her parents that she saw Kiely and that she couldn't walk and she could barely speak. I'm not sure exactly what time that was, but I'm sure that was later into the night, closer to midnight, when she saw Kiely like that. So, I mean, you have to always put yourself in other people's shoes. So I have personally been in some situations where I've been like maybe a little under the influence, maybe a lot. And I managed to text my mom because my mom freaks out about stuff. So I always want to reassure her that I'm okay. And I have been able to send text messages to my mom where I was like, under the influence. But if she couldn't speak or walk and she was really that impaired, it would be really difficult to send a perfectly good text message.
Yeah, because I do believe that was in and around that time frame. And it makes me also wonder, that story that, and I actually, this just popped in my head as I'm talking to you. That story with Sammy, of her going to the car to charge up the car, and they had a couple friends in the car. As drunk as Kiely was described as being at this party, it's making me even questioning her walking to the car at 11:30 where she says she sent that text message, and how she watched her, or we're talking about her sending that text message to her mom. I'm wondering if it was at that point that she was incapacitated.
I mean, that is very possible. Again, I mean, I just think about I'm a very personal person, so I'm open about like my experiences when I was in high school, because it wasn't very long ago that I was in high school. But like when I would go back to a car with friends to charge our phones, like were also doing other things too, like maybe getting more to drink or whatever. So it's maybe it wasn't just that. Like they went back to get more stuff for her.
Yeah, because her car was described as the hot spot, so it sounded like she was the booze machine as it was described. Like, maybe she was the one that had all the underage beverages for the kids. I mean, her van was the hot spot, from what they were saying.
Yeah, I forgot who we all had heard that from, but if that is the case, then
I heard it from Adventures with Purpose.
Oh, right, yeah. So then that, and also in the video of her car, there was the rolling papers and the Trulies, and so we know there was alcohol in her car for sure. So they could have gone back to, restock on stuff, or maybe, I mean, these are all theories. Maybe they went back and she was very tired and had to sleep in the back. Who knows?
Yeah. Or maybe they put her back there because the whole car was filled with people doing stuff that they weren't supposed to be doing. And that was the only, like Sammy didn't have a car with her. She got dropped off there. She was trying to get rides with other people. So maybe she was the one bringing friends back to her car while she's passed out in the back, partying with them in the car. Maybe the whole charging of the phone wasn't accurate. Maybe she wasn't even in the front seat with Sammy. Maybe those are other ones of friends of Sammy, because let's be honest, Sammy has still never indicated. She has no problem throwing Kate or Mag's name out there, but she still hasn't told us who she left the party with when she left, or who the other friends in the back seat of the car with Kiely were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that it really comes down to Sammy. She knows a lot more. So
you believe Sammy will be the key to this case?
Oh,
she's the Candace. She's the Candace of the case.
Of course. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Not saying that she was involved, but I mean, she knows more. Mm-hmm. And there's more people, like that one girl that told her parents, that she saw Kiely. There's other girls and other boys that saw Kiely that have some bit of information that could help, but they're not wanting to come out because they're too scared for whatever reason. Maybe their parents are telling them not to say anything. Who knows? But
I can't find the photo, but I know we talked about it this morning, and many people on here, I know I've been talking about it as well. Kate, we all heard about the tow truck driver. We all heard about his claim that he believes who he saw on Boca Reservoir was potentially Kiely, or somebody that looked like Kiely, and Jagger, and somebody that looked like Jagger. Mm-hmm. We know that Jagger and Kate, which in some angles, Kate resembles Kiely quite a bit at certain angles, like a front facial shot, no, but almost like an angle down. Her facial features at certain angles, if taken, resemble a lot like Kiely. So let me just ask you this. What do you think about the tow truck driver's statements first?
Well, I think what really stood out to me was the seatbelt situation, and the car being in neutral is just very strange. I mean, he put emphasis on the fact that the girl was asking him questions about how to put a seatbelt, but you would think that would be common sense. But maybe some people don't really know how to put a seatbelt on. But I mean, if you're going to pass your driver's test, that's like step number 1 is how to put a seatbelt on. So that was just very strange.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think, but here's the thing. I think they were trying to allege that that may not have been Kiely, but Kiely may have been in the back,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And they later dumped the vehicle, but that really isn't what we're seeing with the evidence in the car. We're not seeing we're seeing a car that's littered with a bunch of crap, not a clean car that only has a bottle of perfume and a cup holder.
Yeah, so, and it all really comes down to the timing. Hopefully he can remember the exact day or look back in it, because I wonder if he has like a camera on his I'm sure he has a camera.
Yeah, he stated he has the camera and audio on his tow truck. I have a hard time believing it was Kiely. Now, if it was Kiely, then I definitely believe that this is not even a vehicular homicide, it's slap murder, if that turns out to be the case. But I have a funny feeling because that's the one key for me that doesn't, that's the one puzzle piece that doesn't fit the puzzle for me.
But then again, I also think maybe it's possible that it was her because he also mentioned the car was in neutral. And then also when her car was in the water, when it was found, I believe one of the members of Adventures for Purpose said it was in neutral. So we have two instances where a car is in neutral, and I feel like it's the same situation.
I've got some here. Here we go. Here we go.
Hello, I just wanted to make a video about the Honda CR-V because I happen to have the same car as Kiely Rodni, and there's been a lot of discussion about it, and I've been waiting for someone to show their car. I first want to offer my condolences to Kiely's family. This was a huge tragedy, and I know this was not at all her fault. I just want to show some aspects of the car that could pertain to some of the conversation around the details of that night. I have a 2014. Hers was 2013, but my guess is they are not going to be too different. One of the things we were all saying in the chat too is there's a lot of problems with this car, including the maps not being accurate, the lights being difficult, but I'm just going to show you right now about starting in neutral since that's what everyone is talking about. I'll probably make another video on other things. So I can't put it in neutral to start out, so I had to get the car on here. Okay, now it's in neutral. Turned it off. And I can't get the key out. But I am able to turn it on.
Let's see what else she does. It's a 6-month video. I understand it's a 2014, but if people know anything about cars, they don't change a whole lot with the makeup of the car. And I have to say that this has been done from 2011 all the way up to 2014. And this is the same process that I've seen in all of those cars, just to let you know.
I can turn it off and on in neutral, but I just cannot get my key out. The car is trying to tell me that I left it in the wrong gear. But someone could leave the key in the ignition, leave it in neutral, and potentially push it somewhere. You would have to be pretty strong to push this car though, and especially in sand or mud.
So what do you think about that? That was pretty good.
I mean,
It kind of just, it's just, it's just odd to me. It feels, it's the one piece of the puzzle for me that doesn't make sense with this whole story. Like everything is around Prosser, okay? Just follow me here. So the party is banging at Prosser. We know there's alcohol at Prosser. There's drugs at Prosser. There's partying. There's music. There's, law enforcement, we heard there was 200 or 300 people at this party, but law enforcement said that they have interviewed the upwards of 400 individuals associated with that party. So that tells me that that party was much bigger than we had anticipated. So everything there is around Prosser, is around that party. And even her vehicle is only 300 yards away from where she was last seen. So if you take those into consideration, it almost takes out of your mind that how in the world could she be over at Boca when her phone died as the very last time at 12:33, which is most likely, and I'm about to show you guys here. Did you know you have 30 seconds to 2 minutes to get out of a car when it's in the water? That's it. 30 seconds, which I think with the two windows down, she was on the lighter time of her car sinking. But 12:30 was when the mass exit happened from the party. 12:33 is the last ping from her phone, and that is the time to sink a car. That's what I'm thinking. So again, it comes back to that tow truck driver being it's the puzzle piece that doesn't fit this puzzle to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know. People
Yeah.
are really, I mean, and I trust Adventures with Purpose that they have corroborated as much of his statement as they could, and it's legit. But, short of a miracle, I think he's got the wrong people, because going back to Jagger and Kate, they had a third person with them the day that they went to Reno to search for Kiely Rodni. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember there's a video and he's in the background. He had a hat on and
right. And I found it very odd that he tried to avoid the camera, and I don't know if he refused to give media his name, but we've been around media enough. We've been around, where we've interviewed with news reporters on multiple, I don't know how many. Gabby Petito alone, we had over 50 interviews.
yeah.
Okay, one of the first things that they always ask you is who are you and what is your name?
Exactly.
And if you're in a group, when we're all three in a group, they go down the line and ask us our questions, or they rotate us out. They'll talk to you, and then they'll rotate you out and put me in there, rotate me out, put Jonathan in there. But they rotate, you know what I'm saying? So it just seemed odd that he's out there looking for her, and the media didn't get his name and didn't get him searching. It's almost as if the way the camera angle was that he specifically asked them not to include him, because they intentionally tried to cut him out of any angle shots possible. And he was listed as another friend in the article as opposed to his real name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure they asked him probably that and who he was, but he chose to, for privacy reasons or whatever, And it's
people,
also what?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
And people are saying, okay, Andra, why does this matter? Why are you talking about this strange guy in the background of this that was going out there searching for Kiely? Because wouldn't you know, when we got that little scintilla of his photo from the camera crew, not actually cropping him out of like a couple screens, a couple clips, we were able to get him. And would you know that this boy that is trying to hide from media not only had a San Francisco and SF hat on, he had brown hair peeking out from under the hat.
Yeah,
The description that was provided by the tow truck driver actually described him as well.
There could be a connection, but then again, you have to keep into consideration a lot of that could be a lot of people that look like that. But then again, we don't know.
But they put a lot of emphasis on that SF hat because Jagger had the FS hat, but so did this other boy.
Mm-hmm.
And they are in California. How many other brown-haired boys have a San Francisco hat on their head that has hair sticking out from under the hat that dates or is around a blonde-haired girl with blue eyes in California?
That narrows things down.
I don't if you were being funny, but no, it doesn't. It actually makes everybody suspect, right? Anybody in California could be these two people that this tow truck driver described.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not only that, but the Honda CRV. I mean, I guarantee you go to any high school, that has over 1,000 students, you're gonna find at least 35 or 40 Honda CRVs that are silver.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a very popular make and model of car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could have been anyone. Once we see the footage from his car, then we'll know. But until then, it's just speculation.
I have a funny feeling. This is what I really truly believe. You and I have worked enough cases that we know that, social media goes down when a person's named or a suspect's name, or if it's a victim and they're being, people don't want their images being spread out there. They bring those social media or privatize the social medias. So we're kind of used to it. We're kind of used to the silence, being ghosted by law enforcement. This feels like we're being ghosted by law enforcement. And that always is is an indicator of a homicide investigation. I'm sorry. I just feel like a homicide investigation is all over this.
Well, yeah, they definitely are up to something, And
yeah. And they haven't come out to tell us whether this case has been elevated from an accident case to a homicide investigation.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, we heard that they were going to do a thorough investigation. We'll see you back in 4 to 6 weeks, folks. See ya.
Yeah. It should be very interesting to see in the next few weeks what happens, how things change. They release anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very I personally, for sure, because I'm very open-minded, so I'm usually on the fence, like 50-50 on things, but I believe that there's a few individuals that really, really know what happened.
I think I know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know exactly who they are. I just don't know their names.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know exactly who it was. You want me to give you my theory?
Yeah, that's a theory.
I truly believe when Sammy went back to that car. Now, mind you, guys, I thought this was an accident at first. So I've been developing my theory since I had more information that changed me from thinking this was an accident to thinking this was a vehicular homicide to thinking that this could potentially be a homicide. And that is, I believe that Dolly was correct on the text messages. I don't believe she sent the text messages out. I think somebody else did it. And the only person that talked about the time in and around when that text message was sent was Sammy. And she was talking about when they were doing that, she was talking about other people being in that car and she was very specific on their seating position, but she never alleged who they were. And I believe that Kiely was not in that front seat. So I believe whoever Sammy and whoever those friends were in that car, they know exactly what happened.
I'm sure.
I want to know who those friends were in the back seat of that car that she says was hanging out with them in her vehicle.
Yeah, they may never come forward because they're scared, and the backlash, it can be scary.
Yeah, it can be scary, but it's a 16-year-old child that you were just hanging out with that's no longer breathing. Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, but like I said, if it was my kids, I'd be pulling them down by their toenails if I had to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play that, and other parents shouldn't either. When you're dealing with human life, I'm sorry. I don't care if it's your kid that did it. You take their ass down to law enforcement. You give them the best attorney. You be a responsible parent. If you don't want this nonsense going on in our country, you, as a parent, are responsible for teaching your children right and wrong. How does it make you feel that this, you being so young and this, this could have really been any of us at a certain age, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel knowing that this child is sunk into a bottom of a lake and parents are telling their kids not to get involved?
Oh, definitely not okay. Because think about Kiely's mom. She wants answers. Like, think about her family. That's just not fair. Everyone should be transparent.
Yeah. Yeah. And not only that, but their kids were at this party. It literally could have been any one of their children, any one of them.
Yeah, it could have been.
This could have been their story. Now, and you you see this and you expect parents to put themselves in another parent's shoes of how they would want to, how they would want to be treated. And then they tell them this, and it's like, you know what? Your child still hasn't grown up yet. There's still a lot that could happen in life for these parents, not in a threatening way, but, for example, my friend Brian was in a car wreck because he was drinking and driving when he was a teenager. And then after he graduated college, he got into a single car accident, which killed him. So there's still things that can happen. And your karma, you need karma, especially with your children going off to college by themselves.
Yeah, someone should come forward, but maybe, and who knows, we have to give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they have come forward to police and they're working on it, hopefully.
That's what I think. That's what I think is happening. I really do. I think that they're working behind the scenes. I think they just completely removed law enforcement and press conferences out of the media. And I think that they have already escalated this to a homicide, and I think they're working it as a homicide. I really do. Mm-hmm. I think that they may have a joint effort going with the state patrolmen, because they have to do their part. State patrolmen reenacting how a vehicle can get into a water, how it can flip, how it can do. They have some of the best stuff. So I know that they're doing that aspect of the work because they're the ones that are trained to do it. But I've always thought there was a joint investigation going on over and above that. And now that we haven't heard anything from this, right now they should have preliminary results, especially on the accident, how the car got in the water and how it landed the way it landed. That should already be completed. We should know that. They have not told us that. So there's something going on.
Definitely. They're working behind the scenes, and so.
And then I've got this one here. I want to show this one to you guys too.
When we pull this vehicle, now if you just rip the vehicle out, the suction that's sitting on the windshield and the roof, you hold the potential of it sticking and ripping and the contents of the vehicle sucking out as well with it. So when you don't want to do that. So what we want to do is we'll rig the front wheels, which are accessible. I verified that. The rear wheels are accessible, intact, sturdy. I grabbed all of the suspension components, they're solid, plus we can get to the frame. Yeah. So we can put one winch line, we'll marry these two connections together, a separate winch line, and we'll marry these two connections together. And we'll pull on this winch line just enough to take the tension, to put just a little bit of tension on it. And the same with this. And once tension there's no slack on the lines, we'll want to slowly pull the front end. Just slowly, just like that. Just slowly, instead of just ripping it like that.
You want to get that suction off.
Yeah. So slowly pulling the suction. Yeah. And then once it's up,
it releases itself.
Yeah. And I feel confident enough there is absolutely zero current. There's nothing in front of the car. As long as the lines are tension, I want to be on comms in front of the car. And just I can communicate with you and you can communicate with the record driver. Yeah. Just keep going just a little bit. Keep going just a little bit.
My set of comms
keep go find it on. Okay, keep going just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And once the car's like this, I can safely reach under a little bit just to make sure we're intact.
From the side. Don't go into the hood.
Right. Yeah. Because if we're not intact, then we
change game plan.
Then we need to completely lift the front end up like that. So whatever's in there slides down to the back, and then. But he also.
So there you go. Pretty interesting stuff. Like I'm just reviewing this stuff because this stuff is fascinating to me, and I want to know how in the world, because I've been watching a lot of it. I've listened to them. Many of you guys know that Carson McMasters was on here the other day talking about this very video, the jaw-dropping video that we had. Documenting the finding of Kiely Rodni. And we were told that they did not pull this vehicle out of the water. We were told that once FBI and law enforcement got off, they did that. But that whole suction, many of us didn't realize, like I just learned something here today. Like when the car lands and goes into that muck underneath it, it can have a whole suctioning effect as they're excavating it. So that's probably why they had to dent or, because that car's driver's windows was intact. They broken driver's mirror. It was not broken when the dive team went down there. So there was stuff that happened to that vehicle that damaged that vehicle in the actual excavation process to the top of the water. And many of us wanted to know whether or not, where's her phone? We had very specific things that we wanted to find out is where her phone was, because her phone died at 12:33. Mm-hmm. There is somebody that's alleging that they truly believe that her phone was chucked as she was put into that water, that they have not recovered the phone, and they believe the phone is still at Prosser Reservoir. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't see a phone in those photos. We only saw the MacBook Pro charger, some Truly cans in the vehicle. And then, of course, she was found in the very rear hatch cargo area of her vehicle. But I'm trying to find how that vehicle would have rolled and been put in that position in the bottom. And I'm trying to find almost a replicated video that can kind of really put in our audience minds exactly how this car could have landed in that specific position, because it has been questioned whether that car was actually backed into that lake or if it was driven into that lake. Have you done any research on the buoyancy and?
Not really. I saw some photos of like the inside, like, kind of like people. Whoa, sorry, I can't talk right now. Like the headrests and the inches from the top of the ceiling to the headrest, and how like small the space it is. But I haven't really done research on the buoyancy and all of that.
And even if it landed on its tires, I mean, the chances of her floating back there and being placed long ways in that hatch is odd. It makes you, no matter how we did it with the car on its tires, up where she would have floated on the ceiling and could make it back there. This wasn't the case. The car was upside down. But if it was right side up and on the tires, it would have been very, very difficult. Like, to put her back there completely. Like, you would expect, even if the conditions were perfect, that there would be portions of her still hanging over that back seat.
Yeah.
Because of her length.
It seems unlikely. And I've read some comments on this chat and on Facebook of mothers who have daughters that are the similar age or weight or height, and they also have the same vehicle and tried to do the same thing. And their daughter was obviously able to do it, but it was a little, you have to like kind of like get back there.
It's different. It's a bit different doing it underwater,
and also not under the influence.
Yeah, it's different to do it underwater. But they're trying to say basically she died in the driver's seat and floated back there. And even if this vehicle was upright on all four tires, where it made the safe passage where she could have floated back there, she wouldn't have been able to float back there and position herself long ways if she was dead. I mean, she would have got caught up on the headrest as she floated back there, like an arm or a leg or a shoe or something. But for her to be long ways and her face to be pressed up against the hatchback window and her body be, to the other hatchback window, that is a peculiar position to be in there if people are alleging an accident and that she floated back there naturally just because she's been there for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. She would have been long with, the length of the car, not the width of the car.
Yeah, it screams foul play.
Mm-hmm.
It just screams foul play.
Yeah, just it's odd. But again, it comes back to that tow truck driver. It's not that I don't believe his story, or I don't believe he believes he saw that. It's the one piece for me that doesn't fit into this saga in any way, shape, or form, other than it could have been. Now, we have to remember, there was a party at Boca Reserve that weekend as well, and Starkey. I mean, there was parties literally on all of these little islands. That could, in these kids, they have styles. Like when we were growing up, remember Friends? Everybody loved Jennifer Aniston's haircut. Like one summer break, I come back to school and everybody has a Jennifer Aniston haircut. Like everybody. I was the only one that had a shoulder length bob. I was embarrassed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody had these cute haircuts. What if that's that whole Jagger is a style in California where their hair is worn like that, their hats are worn like that. They're insane. They love their San Francisco football teams or their basketball teams. They all have the SF hats on. That's their thing. And so this tow truck driver is just giving such general descriptions of these people with literally no specificity whatsoever, and literally could be anyone. And it's not, and he seemed to me to be truthful. When I talked to Ryan Upchurch, he said, he was crossing his arms. He was showing some deliberate body language, triggers. And another person actually, and this actually, I haven't heard from Ryan about it. At least I don't think I have. I don't think I have. Somebody had sent me this statement, and it actually might clarify all this. Now, again, this is an opinion. This is not fact. This is not from somebody that's close to the case or knows information. That's not this. But this is what this person told me. They said, I think the roadside is giving everyone the off feeling because he's an FBI agent that's using a script provided by the behaviorist to fish out the real killer. He uses key words such as car and neutral and how to strap in someone to be seems to be working too. Also, based on the location of the vehicle and the drone footage, I'm starting to believe that the cops found the car, realized it was a homicide, called the FBI. The FBI chose to bring in Adventures with Purpose and try to approach this to find the real killers. And I thought,
whoa,
this would not be an uncommon tactic that where an FBI agent is kind of, put into the mix unbeknownst to some key players. This is an opinion by one of the followers on here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, but I thought, it is a perspective. It's a well thought out perspective. Is it believable? Yes, it is. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Could it be probable? Yes, it is. Does it mean it's true? Of course not. It just means that somebody has really thought out how this guy could be interjected into the story. Because again, like I said, it's the one piece for me that doesn't fit this puzzle. We have a lot of puzzle pieces missing, folks. Let me be clear. We got a lot of puzzle pieces missing, but I got a puzzle from a different piece from a different puzzle. I mean, I'm sorry. That's what the tow truck driver is for me. It is a piece of a different puzzle, mixed up with this puzzle. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. It very well could be. So that Friday, I'm looking at my calendar right now. I just wanted to see again. August 6th, so August 5th was Friday that night, and then because he said it was either Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And
yeah, but then he came back and clarified it. He clarified it because his girlfriend's father's birthday was that Saturday. Yeah. Because remember I said, this would make sense if it was Friday. And so when they came in and said, no, we had corroboration from his girlfriend because he stopped and made a call because he thought it was odd. And I'm thinking, why would you call your girlfriend and not law enforcement and tell them about this weird, interaction you had with these weird people? But anyways, he called his girlfriend, and it happened to be his girlfriend's father's birthday. And that's how she remembered the specific date. Just kind of like with me, with Gabby Petito. The reason why I remember the exact day was the first day that we went there because it was my birthday.
And again, on that Saturday, so that's just weird. This is all strange to me. Because Friday is when she hung out with Kate and then Mags.
Yeah.
Supposedly Jagger was in Napa.
Yeah.
4 hours away. So then
I don't know. People keep coming back. They really just believe Jagger has a hand in this. And in our, especially comparing this with Gabby Petito, he would be a prime person in this. But what we've found out is that there was an altercation that happened at the party between Kiely and another female.
I heard that through the grapevine as well. Do we know who said that? Just kind
The,
of
Adventures with Purpose confirmed it, but they bleeped out the name.
right. That was in the video.
Well, I think we all have an idea who that person was. It would have been the only other person she was communicating with because Kate didn't go to the party. According to Jagger, he was not anywhere in the vicinity. Mags left the party very early on. As soon as she got there, she was gone. And the only other person left with her that she would have potentially had a fight with, you know, you don't fight with people you don't know just for no reason. Usually a fight is because of something personally that happened to you. Because if I see people arguing, what am I going to do? I'm going to be like, fuck them, you know, excuse my language, guys. Sorry. But, you know, I'm just going to be like, F them. Let me go over here. You know, they're killing my buzz, right? I'm not going to be paying attention to it. If you're not my friend and I'm not associated and that has nothing to do with me, I'm going someplace else where my vibe is chill, man. You know, I'm not going to be dealing with all that stuff. So this to me seems personal. It seems like somebody that didn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, I'm sure a bunch of people know who she had a fight with, because that's a big deal. I mean, maybe it was a small little thing where no one heard anything, but I'm sure one or two other people saw or had to have, you know, for it even to be talked about. So
I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for a few people. Do you have some time so we can bring some people up here and if they would like to ask some questions?
Yeah.
Because, you know, we don't get a whole lot of Chronicles of Olivia, you know.
It's a very rare thing when I'm on a live this
It is. And I'm blessed to have you. So, you know, I want the audience to get to know you. If you guys have not subbed up to Chronicles of Olivia, she is amazing at getting, like, really explaining things. You use digital, you know, you use, what is it? Digital media to tell stories.
Because I don't like going live because I'm just camera shy and I have my mind is always a jumbled mess. So I like to just kind of make a video and put it out. No one sees me. They just hear my voice.
Well, you are doing great today. I mean, you're doing great today. You kept all your thoughts together. You know, you've been very informative. You're very sweet. You're beautiful. You're my friend. You know, so... All right, so let's I'm just going to go ahead and throw the link. Did I already throw the link up? Maybe I didn't. Okay, so guys, I'm going to go ahead and throw the link up. I'm going to go ahead and pin it to the top. I'm going to limit this just a little bit. I'm sorry. So I every time I got on I kept saying I'm going to limit these things for Ryan Upchurch. You know, I'm going to limit these you know, the conversations, but then they started asking questions and he started talking. And I'm like, there's no way for me to limit it to 3 minutes. Like these things are going on and on and on. I was trying to get everybody up there to speak to him, but it just, so everybody, I'm not good at timing. So I'm just going to ask everybody to be respectful of our time. So like, let's keep it around 3-5 minutes per call or per thing. If you guys would like to come up here and talk to Olivia. And I'm going to show while we're waiting for people to come up and ask you any questions, especially about some of the stuff that you were able to research. I just want to, I'm really big in videos, as many of you guys know. I think they really help tie everything together. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep, okay. Debbie, can you show me your face behind the scene and I'll pull you forward? Okay. Oh, and that's another thing, guys. I'll bring you forward. You guys can turn your camera off just by stopping your camera like this. This is a great way to hide your face if you don't want to come up here. However, because this is the Bullhorn Betty channel and we have so many trolls that just love Bullhorn Betty, we have to see your face behind the scenes before I pull you up. And please be very respectful. And even if you disagree, that's okay. Just please be respectful. Debbie, can you show me your face? And anybody that doesn't show their face behind the scenes, I'm not bringing you up. Debbie? All right, I'll kick her. If you guys, oh, good. Hold on, she just showed her face. Okay, you can go ahead and turn your camera off. Thank you. Let me just wait for her camera to turn off. Okay. Debbie, you can go ahead and turn your camera off. I'm going to bring you forward now. Okay, well, I'll bring you forward. Hey.
Hi, Debbie.
Can you turn me down in the background? Okay, you can go ahead and turn your camera off. Thank you. Yeah. Can you turn me down in the background? Okay. How are you doing, Debbie? Okay, well, let me just.
Hi.
Hi, can you turn me down in the background?
Hi, Debbie.
All right. She'll have to figure it out. Guys, when you come in here, make sure that you turn me down in the background and that you pay attention when I call you up. Please, thank you. Okay, so we'll go back to this thing, and I'll just wait for the back studio to fill up a little bit, and then we'll go to questions.
Okay.
About floods, more of them ahead this spring. An estimated 400 people die each year because their cars are trapped in water. And it turns out many of us are doing exactly the wrong thing in that moment. We roll up the windows and hope for an air bubble or call 911. But tonight, ABC's Lisa Stark is going to show you a demonstration of the right thing to do if your car is sinking and the 30 seconds that can save your life.
30 seconds.
What you're about to hear are actual 911 calls from people in sinking cars.
I got fire department going. I don't know what to do. The car is sinking. It's to my right. It's up against my right. It's going down fast. I can't get out of the car.
Here's the headline you must remember. You have to get out of the car before it sinks. That means you likely have under a minute to get out. Speed is the key to saving your life.
The first 30 to 60 seconds is when you have to get out of that vehicle.
That's leading researcher Gordon Giesbrecht, who says it's too late to try to push a door open when the car's underwater. So this Florida dive team shows what can be done.
Okay, guys, ready to go.
Let's start the clock in real time. A second after hitting the water, seatbelts off, then windows down. Within 8 seconds, both front seat passengers are out. Water now rushing in the back seat. Passengers scramble. In some cars like this one, rear windows won't roll down all the way. The escape is out the front. Everyone is safe, all in under 20 seconds.
Now, there's some variables here in this particular, where we can tell that this is an older style car, okay? They had roll windows. 99.9% of the vehicles we have today have power windows, and when you get into that water, you have no power. Your power is gone. So the only way you're going to be able to get out of that car if your windows won't roll down is to break them.
Oh, man.
So you need to have a breaker, a window breaker in your car, accessible. So if you have it in your car and you can't get to it, it does you absolutely no good. It has to be accessible. Some people are zip tying them to the window or the rear view mirror of their car, so they're accessible. All they have to do is pull real hard down on it, and they've got it. They can break the window and feel and be free. I personally have a knife with a window breaker tip on it that sits right in my console.
So that video, that happened super quickly. So between 30 and 60 seconds to get out.
Think about that.
Imagine
Think about that, folks.
30
to 60
under the influence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine being like super, like you can't walk or talk, and then having to get out of the car within 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. It was hard. And then that's why I said, and we saw the water gush through here. It didn't throw people out that back window. There's no window in the back of that car. If there was a rush of water that came in that would throw somebody to the back of the car, that person would have flew out that window in the back that has no window in it. That's not the case.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know. We got some people that popped in here. Paceless Jones, go ahead and show me your face. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and pull you up. Well, hello, Mr. Jones. Nice to see you today.
Hello, welcome.
Yeah. How's it going? Hey, one thing that they didn't say, I believe the tow truck driver or whatever, roadside assistance, that guy's full of crap. Could have been an FBI agent or whatever, or some other setup or just some crap. But anyways, what they're not saying, and all these people going out to their cars, this is normal stuff. If you've ever driven a car, you know all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and when you put the car in neutral, it goes from neutral to drive, no problem. But the car won't start if it's in drive. Go out to your car, turn it off. Like these people did, and you can go from neutral to drive while it's off.
Not my car.
You can't go anywhere else though.
Not my car. Not my car. Not without the key engaged.
Okay.
You don't have to crank it up, but you have to have the key engaged in the on position to move the lever from drive to neutral.
You're not listening. You're not listening. I'm saying after the car has been turned on and turned off, why it's in neutral, like these people are doing, and restarting the car in neutral, why it's off, and you already have it in neutral, you can go to drive in neutral. If it's in drive, the car will not start. If it's in neutral, it'll start. It's every car does it. It's automatic. That's why it's blowing my mind that these people don't know this. AWP should know all this.
I did those tests and I didn't come up with those same results. I think
you didn't do the test though, is what I'm saying.
I did it personally. I did it personally on Dolly Vision's channel. I went out to my car and did the test myself.
But did you take? I just did it in my car.
Mm-hmm.
You go out there.
What do you have?
I have a few cars. I have a stick and I have an automatic.
It
doesn't matter. It's every automatic car.
I'm telling you, I went out to the Paceless.
I'm telling you, go out there. You didn't do the test.
Listen, I don't know what part of this. I went out there, took my keys to my SUV, stuck them in the ignition, put it in neutral, turned the key off. The car started rolling, put my foot on the brake, cranked it back on in neutral, put it in drive, cranked it back on. As long as my foot was on, I could not move that into a drive position until my foot was on the brake. So I guess I'm confused.
Okay, you are. Listen, this is what I'm saying. The car, you had already turned on the car, put it in the neutral, turned off the car. The keys don't come out of the ignition. It's locked.
Correct.
While you're sitting there like that with the car off and in neutral, you could pop it into drive and back into neutral all day long. No problem. While it's in neutral, you can restart the car. While it's in drive, while it's off, you cannot restart the car. It will not let you restart.
Well, it's splitting hairs. What does it have to do with this? I mean, because
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they should know all this. It's a normal thing for a car. Everyone knows. Like I said before, I'm driving down the road. My girlfriend's driving the car. I pop it into neutral. She's revving it up because it's not in drive anymore. You can pop it back into drive. You cannot go to any other gear though. And when the car's off, no one did that.
I can do that when the car is cranked and on. I can't do that when it's in on position and in neutral.
I know when it's in neutral and it's off, you could just pop it into drive and back into neutral, no problem. It does that, but you cannot start the car while it's in drive, while it's off. Even though you had it off and in neutral, you have to push it back up into neutral, which is easy to do. It goes drive to neutral, neutral to drive, even when the car's on. And especially when the car's off. You cannot put it back in the reverse or back in the park with it off while it's already, in neutral or drive.
Yeah.
But you can move it from neutral to drive anytime you want, car on or off.
All right. Well, I'll go out there and do a video on that too. So
no one's done it. That's what it's so shocking to me that no one's even said, hey, while they're in their car and they have it off, pop it in the drive, and you can't put it in reverse. You can't put it into a lower gear. You could put it in the drive. You could put it back into neutral. It's easy. It's free. It's free. It's free flowing, man. I don't understand how these people, and then AWP, all these salvage people, they don't know that even. And then the other thing is, no one's saying that the car totally flipped over and she floated to the front. Literally, you get out of the front seat, you're already halfway in the back if you're 5'7" like she is.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
The car's only 12 feet inside.
I agree to disagree with you on this.
The car's only 12 feet inside.
I don't care. I agree to disagree. I literally watched 5 hours of flooding cars and flipping cars yesterday that I'm going to adamantly say that is incorrect.
Well, no, you're saying that she was in there and got out after the car was underwater and floated back there.
No, I'm saying that somebody put her ass back there and threw that car in the water. I don't think this is an accident at all. Me and you are completely.
Well, I understand that. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that it's so plausible, and everyone's like they're making it seem like she floated. She didn't. You get out of the front seat, and I start to go back. The car's only 12 feet inside the car. If you're 6 foot, you're already halfway in the back of the car just by getting.
And there's no way she would have gotten in that link. She was width-wise of that car. She wasn't lengthways. It wasn't. That was not.
How long is a car? The car is in the school bus where it's 100 feet long, and you're floating down the whole thing. You get out of the front seat, you're already halfway in the car. The car's only 12 feet, maybe.
So what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? What do you try? How do you think she got back there?
I'm saying she got out of the car or wrecked the car, got out of the front seat to get out of the car like anyone would do if you're drowning. And maybe she did try to kick the window or whatever. Maybe the front window wasn't broken right away. She tried to get out that way. As she's getting out, you're like I said, if you're 5 foot, you're already close to the back seat when you get out of the front seat.
Now we've heard your. I mean, you know, to each their own. If that's what you believe.
Everyone's like, "Oh, she's floating back there." No one said that.
That's
The
not
car
what
is
we
going
said.
nose down and flipping.
Explaining that there's no possibility of her floating back there. There's no possibility. I have never.
I know. No one's saying she's floating. That's everyone's stuck on this floating thing. She's got out of the car. The car is sinking.
You never
She's
got out of
trying
that
to
car.
find a way out of the car. Your
water.
buoyancy of your body is going to push you back there. As the water's filling up, that's the last little bit of air in the car. It makes perfect sense. And if you're 6 foot, the car's only 12 feet inside. It's only 6 feet wide, maybe 5 feet wide inside. That's the whole length of the thing. I mean, how is that not possible? You're already out of the front seat, so you're already halfway in the back of the car.
There was something happened to her. For her to be in the back of that hatch, she did not float. She did not get out of that car while that car was sinking. Her ass right there was
got out of the front seat
before that car got even into that water. She was back there in that hatch before that car ever entered that water. That's
just your opinion, but I'm saying there is another reasonable explanation for that, dude. How is there not? You don't understand that the inside a car is only 14 foot long. The inside of the car is only maybe 10 feet.
Do you own
an SUV? 5 foot or 6 foot, you get out of the front seat, you're already halfway in the back.
Okay, don't yell at me. Do you?
Can you take a chill pill, Jones?
Yeah. Do you own?
Well, no, because no one's understanding this. I mean, you guys are spewing all this information, and I'm trying to give
having
you
a hard time understanding. But nice to see you. Please come back. We'll debate this again. I've got a few more people behind that thing.
Of course you do, because no one makes any sense with this. If you have common sense, you would.
Next time, Faceless, you might as well just go ahead, because I can guarantee you'll never come back on my panel again. You don't insult the host, and you don't insult the people on the panel. You just don't do it. Hi, Don. Oh, sorry. If you want to turn your camera off, you can. Sorry.
Hi, Don.
I should have told you.
Hello.
Hello. So, what do you think about Paceless Jones's statement that this?
I'm not going to go there. The guy is fixated on.
Yeah. He seems like he's got a bone to pick with this whole positioning of her. There's no possibility of her getting out of the car. I mean, we're sitting here trying to figure out how she didn't get out of the car, and he's saying, "Oh, she got out of the car and put herself back there." What? Sinking to the bottom of the lake? Oh,
well,
nobody understands
him. He's fixated on that for sure. Yeah. I think it's still a possibility that it was accidental.
Okay, and tell me your thoughts on that. And how would she have gotten into the back hatch of her vehicle if it was an accident?
Okay, so it went in front end. Let me explain first.
Sure.
When I was a young man, I actually drove a Subaru into a flooded creek and scared the living daylights out of myself. And I survived because the creek wasn't deeper than the car. So it's a scary event. And I climbed out the front window up onto the top of the roof, and then the car started floating a little down the creek, and I had to jump off the back of the Subaru onto the bank. So it is a very scary event.
Wow. And Dawn, do you remember like how many minutes or seconds it took for the car to really sink or fill up with water?
Not long. I thought I could cross this creek. It happened actually in the foothills of California, up not far from Lake Tahoe. And it had been a rainy day all day long. And the little creeks that I had to drive around to get home, I lived in the foothills, were all flooded. In fact, the one little creek that I normally went over was across the paved road. And I thought, oh, well, I know another way. So I tried another way, which was a dirt road. And that creek was even deeper. And I drove right into it. And I knew instantly, oh, this ain't good, because the car started kind of floating. It came to a rest, and I quickly, I think it had manual windows, and you basically roll them, you roll it down, or it was already down, and I climbed up on the roof. And the car was still moving in the creek, so I knew, man, I got to jump now to try to get to the bank, or this whole thing could, float on down and get into even deeper water. So I got out, but the car was totaled. Anyway, so my theory is she possibly, if it was accidental drunk driving, she went in, front end first, hit the water, panics. If her windows are open any bit at all in that kind of a lake, that steep shoreline, that car is going to sink fast. Just like your video showed, it's going to sink fast.
Yeah. What do you think about Adventures with Purpose? They've gone out, they've been clearing, cold cases, about one case a month for the last 24 months. I mean, they've got an impressive record.
Oh, yeah.
But on an average about one cold case a month, pulling these cars out. And I would think that with that kind of experience and seeing these cars, wreckage, and people's positioning in the cars, when they come out and say it is suspicious she's in the back hatch, I have to think that it's suspicious she's in the back hatch. If they've seen this before where somebody, was in an accident, they would have said it. We've seen this before. This is how it happens. We didn't get that. We got, this is not right from them.
Well, I kind of lean, it's probably 60-40. I still think it's a potential, but it got lowered after the tow truck driver came forward.
Yeah.
And I've driven enough rental cars. They can be confusing. If you don't know how your car works, they can be, I disagree with him on the start in neutral or
I do too.
They differ.
From car to car, because I had a pickup truck that acted completely different from my Dodge that acted completely different than my Chevy.
Yeah, that's kind of my feeling on that. I think possibly if it was accidental, she drove in, she could have ended up, because it probably started turning on her as it went down.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to do that. The tires act like, floats. They've got air in them, and they're going to naturally, in that deeper water, start turning that car. That's why if you watch AWP, most of the cars, a lot of them they find are upside down, because it's just natural buoyancy, and then they rest. They come to rest, and that could be the problem. Is there's this, there's the tow truck driver witness, and if they confirm that, which law enforcement probably already has that, right? They already know. Okay, the records prove that he did service her or service the car. It wasn't her. I tend to think they're covering up an OD.
Well, I don't know if they've confirmed that they serviced that specific car, because we've never received. I mean, he basically.
No, we aren't. We are not going to see that. Law enforcement has it. They went to that tow truck company and they have all the records. Just a few months ago, I locked the keys in my truck and I was out doing a hike, and immediately I realized, darn it, I put the keys. They're still sitting there on the seat.
Right.
I called the tow truck driver. And he took a ton of paperwork, he has to make sure I'm not stealing a car.
Right.
That's how they do it. They take a ton of paperwork. So.
I had a trucker on here that did, recovery, which is what their recovery records. And she says that nowadays with their systems, that it's all basically in a computerized system that you don't really get to control or see or anything like that.
Yeah, as I remember, it was like a pad he had, and I had to sign but he had all my information down. I don't know if he took photos or not, but he had, he had probably my driver's license, the license plate of the car, all that stuff. So
would you think that law enforcement would have, if they did find reasonable information that she was over at Boca Reservoir as opposed to Prosser that following day, don't you think they would make a public outcry for people with any videos or photography in and around that Boca Reservoir area to come forward?
Well, that's a good question. I actually asked on another channel, the Duty Ron channel. I said, hey, why wouldn't law enforcement put out an alert to all the tow truck companies in the area that, hey, we've got a missing persons case, please check your records? And I haven't checked to see if you ever replied back, but I suspect they just thought, no, that's just too big a task. You know, there's hundreds of tow truck companies in that area, so they just probably figured, now we will never get enough responses to that. But you know, then AWP shows up, and the tow truck guy that claims he serviced the car was a big fan. He came forward. From what I remember of their video, they said or an interview of either Jared or Doug, that guy drove up to them while they were in the parking lot of some other place as they're, you know, pulling into Truckee. And he just wanted to tell them, hey, I had this weird experience with a gray CRV.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I like I said, I don't really think he's intentionally, because I mean, to be honest with you, when you're on social media, you have fans from literally all over the country and all over the world. And we ourselves have found people that have, just from our presence, Olivia can attest to this, that when we were out on you know, searching for these people, they will actually seek us out when they know we're in their community to tell us what they know.
Sure.
So that in and of itself, of him reaching out, being a fan, and giving him information, is in the grand scheme of things, is not really that uncommon. I mean, we deal with it as creators.
Yeah, no, I you know, I accept the explanation as being legit. And I kind of think what happened is, it tells me that she had died that night, Friday night, and early Saturday morning, and the teens panicked, and they put her in the back of the vehicle, and they were going to ditch her and make it look like an accident over in Boca. All right, so if it's over at Boca, oh yeah, look, she was driving home because it's so far away from the party. Well, then they ran into trouble. They didn't know how to operate the CRV, and they got stuck on the shoreline, and they had to call the tow truck guy.
So you believe that, so it, just based off the information you have, you kind of believe that this tow truck guy did, you know, did see this, that you believe that there was a stage. I mean, I don't know if this happened.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty well convinced now, reviewing everything. I've looked at some of these videos, looked at Sammy talking. They're covering something up.
Yeah, I feel that way too. I wasn't willing to go there right out the gate, but you know, now that Adventures with Purpose brought up the car, it changes my thought process completely in a different direction.
Yeah, no, and there's, you know, but like you were saying, law enforcement knows all this. They're not going to release it. They have to build a case. Their duty is not to YouTube; it's to the citizens of Placer County, Nevada County. You know, so
yeah, for sure.
They know far more than we do now. And until they make an announcement that they're charging people with either a cover up, you know, because these teens don't realize that's illegal. They should have just, you know, if you a normal person said, "Oh my God, she's dead," you know, if you're an adult, you say, "Well, all right, we got to call law enforcement and ambulance or whatever and get them involved." Teens don't think like that, right? They think, "Oh no, we'll make this all go away." And, it's a mess. So they've created a mess. And how did she die? I commented on a couple of the other videos. I almost think there's going to be, if they release some results of the autopsy, cause of death, there'll be blunt force trauma to the head. I think she could have had just a wasted drunk accident, smacked her head on a rock or a tree or a vehicle, and like what's his Saga. You hit the head just right, it cracks like a egg. And if they find that, they're gonna know, oh man, they're covering up an accidental death. So there's still.
But if she did get a crack on the head and it wasn't from, you know, a drunken stupor, you know, then we got another big mess on our hands. But I have a funny feeling with all the stuff that I've been researching that was coming out in and around this case, it shows a very high drug element in the Northern California area. And based upon her description that we found about her not being able to walk well or talk well, that almost sounded exactly indicative of the effects you get from, a specific drug that's been running rampant in their area.
Yeah, no, apparently watching some of the news involved up there in Northern California, the fentanyl, the date rape drugs, they're all easily accessible up there now.
Right.
And she probably, like I said, it could be an OD. Somebody slipped or something and she OD'd and it happened, or she just died from the OD. Right. There's a lot of that possibility there, and again, teens aren't going to react properly. They're just going to say, "Oh crap, she's dead. We're going to."
Yeah, I'm surprised they just leave her like put her in her car and just leave her. Like, why would they dump her in the lake? I mean, there was other ways of handling this. Why the dump in the lake? That to me sounds like somebody processing this and wanting to really hide fingerprints and other biological evidence, because many people think that if you sink a vehicle, all the evidence goes away. But many people don't realize that with our new advancements in technology and DNA discovery, that's no longer the case.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. I like I said, they probably wanted to make it look like an accident if it's a cover up. I mean, it does throw a lot of doubt on it. It's like, well, yeah, that could happen by accident. Especially, they didn't realize, well, it actually looks more like an accident being there in Prosser than it would over at Boca.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
She would have gotten lost driving over to Boca, in my opinion. She was, if she was that wasted, there's no way she could have ended up get home driving over to Boca. So, no, it's a sad case. I started following when they kind of first announced it. I even watched them. The local TV station had a helicopter over Prosser as they dragged that vehicle out, and they pretty much broadcast the whole retrieval of the car.
Sad, very sad.
Absolutely sad.
Do you have any children, Don?
No, I'm a single guy.
Yeah, but it's still hard. It's still.
I have nephews and nieces, and
yeah.
I've seen enough teen behavior hanging around with my brother and sister to know what teens are like, and so.
Well, Don, thank you so much. I'm going to see if I can get one of our gals. Her audio is finally fixed. So
all right.
Get to her.
Good vibes.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Don. Please come again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Debbie. I know you're you, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring you on up. Is your audio fixed?
Yes, I think so. Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Perfect.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Got a few things I want to cover. Real quick, I won't take up too much of your time. First of all, I'm on the wait. I know everybody's just waiting to hear on the results, right? My family went through something water-related death in my family. Mine was very different. My sister was found in the bathtub. It appeared to be a suicide. She was in her bath. She had been there since, estimated the last time anybody had spoken to her was Friday night. She was going through a divorce, and her little boys were picked up on Friday for the weekend with her soon to be ex-husband. And then he was supposed to take the boys to school on Monday, and she was supposed to pick them up that afternoon from school. She didn't. So finally a neighbor went over there and let himself in and found her. So she'd been in the water that whole weekend. And we had to wait 7 weeks. And the rumor mill started. The whole neighborhood was up in arms. The whole family got separated over the deal. It was awful. And we had to wait over 7 weeks for the results. She actually ended up, her cause of death was an accidental overdose of over-the-counter Benadryl.
Oh
The
wow.
simplest thing in the world. And I mean, we had to wait 7 weeks not knowing. I didn't know if my sister killed herself, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just Benadryl.
Yeah, I've heard that because I covered the Anthony Tott case, and he tried to use that as well for himself. So he could, he massacred his whole family and then, wanted to off himself, but he couldn't quite do it for himself. So don't know about that, but yeah, very interesting. And maybe this all does come into play. Maybe there was some people over there, trying to hide her body. But still, it just, maybe that's the reason why they kept her in the back seat. Maybe it's because they had to have that tow truck driver, and they're like, oh my God, he's already seen us. We need to get rid of this car. And they just said, well, we're taking it here and dumping it, and just pushed it right on in and left and never thought about it again. I mean, yeah. I mean, could that have happened Saturday? Okay.
Well, here's the other part that I want to go over with you, and I think that you and maybe Olivia would want to contact me privately. I do have something pretty big that I don't really want to put out there yet. I
reach
want
out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com, and
I have emailed you.
Have you? Let me go over here. I get like 1,700 emails a day.
You can email me, Debbie. It's just the Chronicles of Olivia@gmail.com.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Actually, it's the Chronicles of Olivia2@gmail.com. I'm gonna put it in.
Are you Debbie? Hold on. Are you? Oh, here it is. I see you. I didn't see it.
Okay.
Before. I see you.
Okay, don't lose that. I'm serious because
I'll forward this over to Olivia right now.
Yeah, just share it with me.
Okay. Please contact me when you're done, because I would like to do like a video or Zoom or something with you guys, because this, what I found, changes the whole timeline. Trust me.
Okay.
I've always believed that she died like right there, like at 12:30.
Yeah, that's fine. That's my belief.
12:30. When you see what I found, you will be like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Sammy always said, her last outfit was supposed to be, the dark green pants, the black Vans, right? And the black hoodie, which was later changed to the white hoodie. Everything, that's all wrong. And there's other things too.
Gotcha.
Wow. Just wait until you see. And this is not something that I could just email you and say, here you go. You wouldn't understand. You wouldn't see it. But when I walked another channel person through this, she was bawling on our Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
But she's this is not something that you would ever broadcast. This is not something that you would say.
We'll get with you.
Here's a photo. This is not something that,
and get some information from you.
Yeah, this is not something that I want to see on your screen. You know what I mean?
Of course.
You wouldn't want to, believe me. But because it's something that we all wouldn't want out there. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It totally changes the timeline.
Right.
It really does.
All
There's
right. Well,
no way that.
We'll get with you. Let's just leave it at that, because it's going to make the chat.
Okay. And then the last thing is the belt. The belt is really bothering me. There's so much about that belt. Sammy made it a point to say that Kiely took off her belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they went pee, which is stupid. We're women, we know. You unbuckle it, right?
Yeah.
And then the girl with the roadside assistance guy brings up, I watched that video like 15 times, that little clip.
Mm-hmm.
She specifically asked him, how do you attach the seatbelt to your actual belt?
I didn't hear
And
that.
that brings me back around to what I want to show you. And it's going to come together for you, and you're going to say, wow.
Okay.
So I think that's going to be more key than people know. And that's why Sammy wanted to bring attention and throw off everybody to say she saw Kiely take off her own belt. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll get with you after this and have a discussion about that at a later
Okay,
date.
cool.
I just emailed you, Debbie. I just emailed you.
Okay, awesome. All right, ladies.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Good chat. Good chat. Good job. I like your channel a lot. And Olivia, you've got to be moonlighting as a model, right?
Yes.
You're too sweet.
Didn't I see you on America's Last Top Model?
Oh my God.
Hey,
Wow.
Reese, see what Dolly's doing. Like Dolly wanted to be on. He's made up this, Turtle Island. Now he wants to go to Survivor Island. Olivia, she might have a career in modeling, but you can't take my producer away from me.
America's next most beautiful crime fighter. There you go.
Ooh, I like that.
There you go.
All right, ladies. Have a good afternoon.
For her.
Bye, Debbie.
Bye, Debbie. Thanks.
Bye.
I almost want to play that song, Crushing a Lot. That
Making me blush over here.
I know, I'm blushing for you. That was sweet. That was so nice. That was so nice.
Debbie's a sweetheart.
So Lone Wolf Spirit says Kiely wasn't the first missing teen in Truckee. In 2015, 19-year-old went missing almost exactly like Kiely.
Oh, I heard about that, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
This has been outplaced since day one. No buts. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, like I said, I was on the fence at first. Many know I took a very conservative approach outside the gate because of the age of the kids. And I really wanted to find out because, to be honest with you, I was a wild child and things just happened. And we put ourselves in risk without realizing we put ourselves in risk of, I wouldn't do half the crap. Like I'm turning 43 in a few days. And I wouldn't do half the crap I did at, 16 to 25. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm terrified now. Like, I survived. I'm not going back there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Same here.
Yeah. So, anyways, what else do I have that's interesting here since we're already getting to the top of the hour? Thank you for kind of hanging out with me. That's kind of cool.
I am shocked. I thought I was going to be here for 20 minutes.
No, it goes quick. I tell you, once you start talking and you questions are, it just comes. There's so much with this case. It's insane.
You're right.
And we're only getting nuggets. I mean, think about it, Olivia. You're getting nuggets. Like we've got like thousands of people here working on getting information out there to the people on YouTube. And I have to be honest. Ryan Upchurch was correct about there not being a whole lot out here to sleuth. I mean, this is as far as sleuthing, one of the toughest cases I've personally. I mean, it's taking a lot.
Yeah. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. I mean, same thing, because with Gabby, we were boots on the ground, just regular civilian people that found, we found stuff in the woods that belonged to Gabby and Ryan. And I think it's cool that the internet comes together to help. There's pros and cons because a lot of misinformation gets spread.
Hold on just a second.
Stuff, but
for those in the chat right now, we have almost 1,800 people in here. If you have not gone out and liked this segment, please go out and give us a thumbs up. We have worked tirelessly around the clock trying to get this information pushed out to each and every one of you so we can have 1,800 people in this chat so you can get the information that you need. So please go out there. If you're loving the content, you like new information coming out there to you, we need to have those thumbs up to get us in the algorithm. That really does help everybody grow. And, Olivia's out here working. This stuff helps helps her with her videos. So we just want to, keep the momentum going. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say. But sorry. Yeah, I corroborate everything. Subscribe to Bullhorn, everybody.
Subscribe to Chronicles of Olivia. No, just but we come across these cases, and a lot of these cases are very weird. The audience picks up. People always say, "Why do you drive these cases?" We don't drive these cases. We don't say, "Oh, we want to cover Kiely Rodni." It's our audience that directs us on which cases we cover, really. Because they're the ones that are saying, "Oh, we heard about this case. I want more information on it." Or, this case, it's not really the creators themselves that are driving these stories. It's our audience.
Yeah, it's our audience. And whenever Bullhorn and I get flown out around the country, it's all from our audience.
Yeah.
It's our audience. The audience, you guys decide where we want to go.
Yeah.
You want us to go here to cover something, we'll
We
go.
go.
But we wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for you. So.
Yeah, no, there's no way. There's no way.
There's absolutely no way.
Expensive, that's for sure. But anyways, Olivia, how you doing today? I mean, other than this, I'm almost done. I'm almost done with everything that I was.
It's been 2 hours. Good Lord.
Yeah, we go hard here. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I know what I wanted to show you guys. There's better quality imaging of this recovery. So, and this is an example I want to show you because this news article got some really good underwater footage that was crystal clear. And then, of course, we have, I took this picture the same. Look at the difference in the quality of imaging. So I have a funny feeling Adventures with Purpose actually degraded the quality because of the sensitivity to this case.
Probably.
Because clearly there is a definite difference in the quality of this underwater shot, which was done by Adventures with Purpose, and the underwater shot with Adventures with Purpose on their show.
Yeah. That that
was interesting.
I actually have a sharpen tool that I use when I edit, and I'm gonna like sharpen the whole video and rewatch it with it.
Yeah, I may have to send you a clip. It would have to be between us because it's not appropriate for the audience. But I'm gonna send you a clip that you sharpen up for me, and it's gonna be a little disturbing, but I want to see it.
But I'm trying to think of anything else that we should go over. Oh, so the video that I'm dropping next within the next hour and a half.
Yeah.
Is Kelly's video about, she's in Medium, if you guys don't know. And she, 24 hours before Kiely was found, reached out to me. We talked, and I have a whole video on her vision. So I'm going to be posting that. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Because you didn't come out with this early on because wasn't corroborated. But now that hindsight's 2020, it's like, man, she was spooky accurate.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So well, yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you for having me on Bullhorn Betty.
I love you. Wait, I'm starstruck. I'm starstruck.
I'm your biggest fan.
Don't worry, I'm yours too. Outside of Mom.
Yeah.
I'm the second biggest fan.
Aw. But
we'll see you later. Yeah, and just let me know when you go live. I'm gonna just kind of reel it down. I think I'm done with all the there's this cases going on. Like I could literally talk for 8 hours here about this.
And you do such a great job. Like this is your calling.
Yeah. It's just getting the information, getting it out there, and researching, and we're all just kind of working all together. I mean, a lot of creators are actually working together and passing stuff around behind the scenes to help, for our audience to be up to date with the most information, up-to-date information possible. So I'm really thankful to all the creators that have also been participating and helping, each other out throughout this process to make sure that we are as factual in our presentation as possible.
Yeah. That's like the thing I always worry about because I'm dropping episode 2 of my Kiely documentary, and I'm just always worried that I'm going to spread misinformation. So I always try.
That's okay. I mean, you accidentally did, and somebody reached out to you, and we came right on here with
maybe it was
2,000 people and explained it.
It was meant to be because the people that reached out to me were the girls in the photo. So if I'd never posted that in the video, they would have never
had them.
So that actually worked out weirdly enough. But it's all speculation at this point, really. But I think we all have our own opinions. I think we both think foul play is involved.
Yeah. At this point, yep. I'm there with you. But I can't believe how uncanny it is because, and I hate saying this, and it's not because, I'm friends with Dolly Vision, but, out the gate, I was just, him and I had the conversation of what we thought we were on polar opposites of. And I thought, okay, this is great. It'll be up for great debate. But so far, he's come the closest with his prediction out the gate so far, in my opinion. Even down to the text message. Like he does not believe, I don't know if his theory has changed on the text message or not, but when we first say he said, I don't believe she ever sent that text message to her mom. He said, I think this was a stall tactic.
Very well could be. Very well could be.
Yeah. Well, all right, Love Bug. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to power down. Just give me a call a little later if you want me to pop in and say hi or.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a call later. Bye.
Right.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye, everyone.
That was my BFF Chronicles of Olivia, the best editor in the Southwest Florida area. I think she's the best editor worldwide, but hey, that's just, it's probably because I'm partial. I love Olivia. Her and I, we gel. As you can see, we gel. We work in sync with each other. It's always from day one with Olivia. It's always been a great working relationship. Not just we're obviously friends. She's like family to me because we spend so much time together, and we've had to spend multiple like about a week together in small areas. And if you know anything about friends, whenever you have to be in close quarters with a friend for a duration, that's really when you find out how great that friendship bond is, right? Well, we walked through it like cakewalk. It was just we've always been just, I don't know, we've just been on the same page since we've met. And when we tell these stories, we work very hard to create the information that you guys need. But she's the one. I do the lives, as you guys notice. Olivia puts together the big, beautiful production documentaries. We all kind of have our own little gifts and our own way of telling a story to our audience that captures our audience and does it in ways that we're not stepping on each other's toes. But it does that organically. We didn't sit down and have business meetings it's just an organic process with us. And that's what I think we've all really, really loved when we started working together, is that just how organic our friendship is, how organic our working capabilities with each other are. And we really want to tell this story. And I can tell you there's going to be more coming from me collaborating with Chronicles of Olivia and some other creators for this trip. I don't see us not making a trip out to California at this point. I really don't. So we will definitely, Pisces and Virgo, Chronicles of Olivia. I love you. So I don't know when that is going to be. And you know how I am, even if I do know exactly when I'm going, I'm not telling you guys. So with that being said, just be on the lookout. Keep staying here. If you guys have not subbed up, please consider subbing up to Bullhorn Betty, the Bullhorn Betty channel. When we came into this this morning, we were 40 subscribers short of hitting our 12,000 subscriber mark. So I'm going in there right now to see if we made our 12,000, and I'm probably going to freak. I'm either going to freak because we didn't make it, or I'm going to freak because we made it to 12,000. So if you guys have not subbed up, now's the time. Don't make me look at this and find out I'm not to 12,000 yet. Just joking. 12,100. You guys did amazing. You guys did amazing. And I even actually have a photo that's going to be posted. There it is. It's going to be posted later today. You guys get the sneak peek. We have crossed over 12,000 followers. It would never have happened without each and every one of you. I know we cover some really rotten stuff on here. And even though I'm not like all funny and, but we do have fun here. We try to make it an enjoyable process with all the unenjoyable stuff we do talk about here. And we dive deep. And when the time is right, we go out there and even dive deeper. So stay here. We are building, we are working this, we are diving in deep. Again, like Ryan Upchurch did indicate, and he is accurate about that. Whether you like him, hate him, or in between, I like Ryan. I had a conversation with him. I got his vibe. His vibe's chill. And I can tell you that he is right. There is not a huge footprint out there in social media for this young lady. There's just not. And that's causing a problem. And we're having that same problem ourselves. So, but we are uncovering little bits and pieces every single day. We are bringing what we can to you. For example, we've had the new updated photos of Kiely Rodni. We've had those for several days, maybe even up to a week at this point. and we've never brought those forward because, again, if we tell you we're going to keep you confidential when you provide us information, we're going to keep you confidential when you provide us information. We're not going out there. We've kept the girls that are in the car confidential. If those people that are out there in Truckee, if you ever want to share, disclose, or provide Bullhorn Betty channel or Chronicles of Olivia any information, we will promise you we will go to the end of the earth to make sure that you are stayed confidential, that your face and your statements never surface attached to you. But anything that you can provide us to get us the story out there, please reach out to one of us so we can start working on that. This is one of those stories that just doesn't have a whole lot of stuff with it, and we need to find the stuff. We have to find the info. So please, if you guys are in the Truckee area, if you attended any of these parties, if you know Kiely Rodni personally, if you have any information that can help us with this case. I mean, we're kind of swinging in the wind here. We heard she was pulled out of a car. We heard she was in the hatch of her car, and it's been the silence has been deafening related to this case, and we're eager just to find out any semblance of information related to this case. So if for any reason you know anybody that's in that area, know anybody that's attended the party, know anybody that has any photos, any documentation, anything that can help tell Kiely Rodni's story, please get them in touch with one of us. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you all for being here and spending your time with me this beautiful Monday morning. I'm coming all the way from Florida, and I know I have many people around the world. So thank you so much for spending your time with me. Have a great day. Don't make it a manic Monday. We're already through it. I mean, we only got a few more hours, and we're off to do whatever we want for the rest of the afternoon, right? So have a great day. And guys, don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, you say something. And be great parents. Don't be these yahoos over in Truckee, California that tell their children how to be an irresponsible adult when a child is missing. Shame on the people that have told their kids to keep their mouth shut. Shame on you. I will say that each and every day that I am on this file. I will say that to you parents that are out there obstructing this investigation. Tell your kids, come forward. Tell your kids to open their mouth, and tell your kids to tell law enforcement everything that they need to know to find out what happened to Kiely and bring justice to her. Have a great day, folks.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.